anything with a lot of sugar in that's definitely my thing. Like,
yeah,
like people have like beer and whatever and that, but like I'm just mad for sugar. Like, it's really like when we're on tour, there's this thing called like Fritz Cola in Germany, and it's like really good. And I was like, we were like before tour, we were like, let's make the riders really good this time, like, because they're always crap. And like, and so we were just like, let's have loads of that. But the problem is then every night for about a month, you get like 25 bottles of Fritz Cola and you feel like you've got to drink it. So about 2 weeks in, I was just like, shit, I have to go to the dentist. Like, I think I fucked it. Like, so I'm trying to stay off the sugary drinks at the minute.
All the other rock stars out there trying to get off heroin, and you're like, got to stop this Fritz Cola.
I'm on the tap waters, mate.
Yeah.
On that note, better introduce the episode. Yeah. Welcome back, team. Welcome back to the Scratch Jackal podcast. We're joined today with Jacob from Cassia. How are we, mate? You all right?
Very well, mate. How are you guys?
Doing well, bud. Doing very well. All right. I feel like the wheels are falling off my wagon a little bit. I feel like absolute dog shit, but we're surviving.
Yeah. So you got to do day by day.
I'm alive, but I can't say I'm at 100%.
Good to be honest. World Mental Health Day, mate. We can have a chat about it if you want.
I'll tell you what, I do want to have only a slight chat about it. My uncle is currently doing this thing for World Mental Health Day. They've just finished a bike ride across America.
What?
There's a group, they're doing it in groups of 4. There's like sets of 4, and they do like a day on, day off, day on, day off, day on, day off. And they started in New York. And they've just finished on Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. And it's mental. And the week before, they went from, where'd they fucking go? They did a load of Europe. It was like, it's called Kelly's Heroes, and it's for a family friend of ours that committed suicide. And it's her dad and all of like a few of his mates, and then like her sister and her sister's fiance have gone on this American one as well. But they've just finished on Golden Gate Bridge tonight. Yeah, like American time, which I thought is fucking mental. Yeah, it's so good.
Sick. That's an experience.
How many miles is that?
Fucking too many.
Must be
thousands. Must be thousands. I know that they're doing like best part of 100 miles a day.
What?
And they've been out there for like 3.5 weeks.
If I hit 4,000 steps, I'm like fucking laughing.
Yeah, I've had a big day.
Yeah, been to the kitchen a few times.
I fucking take that. No, that's sick.
Oh, good on him. That's mint, that.
Yeah, it's mega. So yeah, they're all out there at the minute, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that wasn't even a planned segue.
No, it wasn't a planned segue, but yeah, it is very impressive, man. Like I said, I think I'll do the next one they do. They're going to do one in like 2 years' time again, but I don't know where they're going to do. Like they've done quite a lot of the big bike tours.
Yeah,
I'm hoping they do. You are.
They've done a lot of them out there.
Yes, they've done like the first one they did was like Land's End to John O'Groats. So they did like the one in England, and then they did a European one 2 years ago, and then they've done a bigger European one this year and an American one. But the one I want them to do is the Great Wall of China one.
Yeah.
You know, the one where you do like, you kind of go along the Great Wall of China, I think, which is like a big cycle path. And I'm like, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's for a pretty amazing cause. I mean, God, like,
absolutely.
That's crazy. So they've been busy then. They've done like, is that what 2 years ago, did you say? Then one last year as well?
It was, so she passed my second year uni. So what's that, 4 years ago? Yeah. So yeah, they did then one the year after, and then they've done like a couple in between, and then this year they've had a year off, and then this year they've done like the 2 big ones, and then they're going to do it kind of every 2 years, I think. But my uncle's 60.
Yeah, it's insane.
And doesn't really ride bikes. He trained knowing he was going, doesn't really ride it loads, but like, yeah, I was like, it's such a mental feat. It's crazy.
Did you say they trained?
He trained a bit, but not an absurd amount. Like he goes, was going out on his bike a few weeks before and going over there, and some of them trained a lot harder. But like, yeah, a lot of these they're all like 60.
Did they plan to finish on World Mental Health Day?
Yeah, that was like the plan. So they're finishing on Golden Gate Bridge at 8:30, San Francisco time, which is like should know this, 4:30 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are they doing it now then, I imagine?
Yeah. So they're like, I'm assuming they'll probably be coming into California now, and then they'll be getting to San Francisco on the way.
Good on them.
Yeah, mega.
Yeah, very cool.
That's sick. Wow.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
I don't know if I'd be able to. Like, I've never really thought about it. Like a mate of mine from school swam the channel, but he was always the guy who was like really athletic, like insanely so. I went to like my first experience of going to the gym. It was with him, and he had been like swimming at like a national level for like a decade at this point, and he started rowing. And we were on the rowing machines, and I've never felt like less, almost like more inadequate.
Yeah, literally.
It's like I understand, like, because when you're watching it and stuff, you're just like, I could probably
just do it.
If I trained a bit, but honestly, it's just mental.
Yeah, no, we're not built. The only thing we've ever done is we gamed for 19 hours straight during COVID-19 British Red Cross. That's more our sort of back.
That's sick.
We'll sit and play Warzone for 19 hours instead, man. And that's more our kind of steez, I think.
Yeah,
but the running and stuff. Yeah,
that's a long time. I bet like
it was a long time.
Did it feel like? Did you get sort of like 15 hours? You're like, this is like.
I got to like 7, and I was like, my eyes were starting to hurt. And then, like, there was moments where you'd see me come off. I'd come off screen because I was streaming it. I was like the only ones out of our lot that was streaming it. And you'd see me I'd lay on the floor, and then a puff of vape smoke would come up. I'd be like, because my back was in bits because I was on like uni office chairs, like some tiny little stools.
Yeah,
and my back.
We can put ourselves through it as well.
Yeah, put up ourselves with paces.
Do you think you'll do it again?
I don't know. We should do though. You know,
I'd like to do something like that again. I've just bought a new PC, so I'm thinking of like doing a bit of the streaming malarkey. So I'll be bang up for doing something like that.
I'm up for it. Yeah, I'm up for it.
I could be like persuaded to do something like that, I reckon. If it's the right game though, because I was never a massive gamer, but I was like well into proper strategy games when I was a kid. I was like, a bit dorky, but I loved the kind of, I don't know, a Roller Coaster Tycoon was my absolute
my shit.
I think I could do that for like a few days straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially the level that those games have reached now, like the new like fucking Zoo Tycoon and stuff is meant to be mental.
I've not actually. I'm so out of this now.
I've not seen it, but I've heard.
I'm the Tycoon realm as well. As much as in the gaming scene, I feel like I am. Tycoon realm's a little bit.
I've heard they're fucking decent, mate. Graphics now, you feel like you're at the zoo. You can just
epic. I'm gonna get on that. That's going to go straight on my laptop tonight, honestly.
There you go. Fucking treat yourself.
Yeah, I'm probably a sucker for that kind of thing. I remember, but it's always like in massive wedges. Like, so I'll have like a few days off, and I'll just be like, I think I'm going to spend the next 5 days doing this and nothing else. And then it just goes again. It's kind of weird, but I think I got, what was it, like City Skyline a while ago?
Yes.
I absolutely loved that, man.
Fucking brilliant.
Getting my plumbing and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I absolutely buzzed off that.
Oh, mate. When you used to build a roundabout and then it would all go wrong when you built like a school in the wrong place and you're like, oh, no, my traffic system's fucked.
Man.
What's going on?
Got to the whole city.
Yeah.
There's some seriously sick YouTube like series on that. There's like a city planner who builds this stuff, and it's just like I was watching it at the same time as mine. I was just like, this is art.
I literally used to watch a guy who did it, and then he'd have like this subway system that goes around everywhere, and it comes up here and it does that. And I'm like, mine's like a fucking child's drawn roads.
That's more funny.
That's a good game, though, sir.
There's so many good games like that. I've toyed with the idea quite a lot. Like after Jack Saunders did his Warzone tournament, I really want to do a indie music Among Us.
Yeah, that would be
sick. Really want to do like an indie music Among Us and get people like me and Joe in it, get people from bands, people that are in like the social media influency sort of space, and kind of get like a big like 14-person lobby.
That'd be sick, actually.
I think that'd be fucking quality. And
did you ever play that, Jacob?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, we lived in Berlin for about like 2 years or so. And throughout COVID, obviously, it was when COVID was going on, and Mike, the bass player Lou, his girlfriend and my girlfriend were both back in the UK, and so we'd like play Among Us together on Zoom and shit. And that was quite cool, but not loads. But it was sick. I remember seeing like Mr. Beast videos and stuff.
Mate, the views still go crazy on it.
Yeah, they still
like Saikuno and like Valkyrie and. Well, that shows how fucking nerdy I actually am, but like the actual, like
I'm not sure they are, but I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure many people listening will know they are either. It's a niche audience.
Yeah, Stikeman and that still play it.
Yeah, they've just done a custom. They've done a custom lobby, haven't they? Where it's like the old Sidemen house.
Yeah,
and you can
character stuff.
It's fucking quality stuff.
It didn't go on.
Is that like with the game? They've like collaborated.
Yeah. So they've got someone to like write the map, and they've like modded the game and got someone to write the map. So it's the 3 levels of the old Sidemen house, and it's got all like different tasks in different people's bedrooms and stuff like that. I was like, now that's fucking great, isn't it?
That's when it's like when it's cool to have money to just like, oh, that'd be fun. Like it'd be funny if we did that, and then just be like, let's just do it. Then.
Do it.
Literally,
that's the goal, isn't it?
That is where you want to end up, isn't it?
Making maps on Among Us is the pinnacle.
Yeah, maybe not specifically.
No yachts or anything like this. We just want to be able to mod maps on a phone.
You could do it on like a Glastonbury map or something like that for the indie music one.
That'd be so sick.
That would be cool if you could make your own map. That'd be sick.
That'd be sick.
You could do a proper actual map builder on Among Us, to be fair.
I think they'd be well up for it, you know. It's always good to like, because with bands and stuff, you don't really like hang out ever.
Yeah.
I think everyone's kind of aware of everyone, and like I think people support each other on social media and stuff. But at festivals, you meet people, and you're like, oh yeah, I've been following for years and all this kind of stuff, and it's dead nice. But when you do these things, like we did a fantasy football a while ago, and you get loads of bands in it and stuff, and it's just cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of breaks that kind of, I don't know, barrier or whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool though.
We've found that a little bit. Like we've put on a couple of gigs and stuff, and we put on a multi-venue festival in Northampton a few weeks ago. So, and we've always found out that the best thing is for everyone who's playing, we just make a group chat a good few weeks in advance on Instagram and stick everyone in it. And actually, like, it's really good. Like we then take a step back and everyone starts talking to each other. And then when you see them meet at the actual gig, everyone kind of feels like they know each other a little bit more, and then
that's cool.
We like an after party, and everyone then comes to that and has a bit, and like seeing people interact. 'Cause you say a lot of the bands just end up turning up, sound checking, playing, and doing their own thing. But it's quite nice to make a bit of community out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to be now on like an ADHD fucking like hyper focus mode. This will be planned. I'm in a zone now.
Mate, you've got Excel out already, mate.
Yeah, mate, I'm already thinking about it. I'm there, like, I've made notes in my head. It's all planned out. I know I'm asking. It's like...
Do it, man. It'd be sick. Honestly.
That's such a quality. Yeah. We should talk about that. I like that idea.
We can do it.
Sick.
Yeah, you'll definitely have a few. Like me and Lou will definitely be in it if you're struggling for people, mate. We've already got 2 there. Rob Fancy as well, I reckon.
Mate, I'm sure we could get fucking load.
I reckon you would.
I think you could. Then you market it decently, and like you get like a couple of Jack Saunders in there, get a couple of like the influencers that we know over LA way, and we could. Okay, right. Let's actually go on with an interview. So to start podcast, we've been doing like a quick fire thing, kind of like a little bit of a get to know you in a slightly different way to what other people might do. They're not necessarily as orientated around music, but some of them are.
Cool, man, no problem.
Lovely. So if you could have an endless supply of anything, what would it be?
Oh, you like to say time?
Wow. That's a fantastic. Of course
that would be. When people ask like what your superpower would be, my thing would be I'd love to stop time, because like I'd just be able to get sick at random shit that I've always wanted to try.
You've ruined the question forever.
I'm so sorry.
There is no other answer that beats that.
I was trying it. I was trying it for this weekend, man.
I thought you'd say hot dogs or something. I didn't think you'd
like Doritos. No, time.
Time's a fantastic answer.
It's time or Haribo.
Perfect. We'll cut the other bit.
Haribo.
It's just gonna be a really awkward cut, and you're gonna be like, or Haribo.
No, time's a fucking great idea. It's the bane of everyone's life, isn't it? To just
be restricted.
Run out of time, man. So if you had unlimited,
Innit? I feel like I don't think I'd like to live forever because that'd be a bit weird. I feel like
true.
that concept. I sometimes think about it, and you're like, that would proper john me out. But like, I'd like to be able to just kind of, I don't know, just get sick at loads of cool, the random,
just weird things. Like, weird stuff. What would be the first thing you try and get sick at?
Writing music, probably. It would be like, it's usually like super impulsive. Like I'll watch a movie about something, I'll be like, I want to do that.
Yeah. It's so little things like being able to like handbrake turn. That's a bit like, but when do you get time to practice? If you could stop time and just do it in a car park for 12 hours, then you'd be good at it.
That stuff like that, man. Like it's difficult to think about it. Like skateboarding. I don't know.
Skateboarding's cool.
Just like, I don't know. It's difficult to think about it now. I'm trying to think of any.
I had a weird thing where I saw someone make rings on TikTok. And I started making rings out of spoons. And I sat in here for like 3 days solid and just fucking made a load of spoon rings.
Did you?
Yeah. I made a load. I spent like fucking 70 quid. A very, very impulsive thing. Spent 70 quid on like a ring making kit, a load of spoons from like the 60s.
They're really sick.
They're really cool. They are really cool. But like, I've still now got, I made like 10, 15, and I've still got like 300 spoons just
it passes quickly, doesn't it?
That's the problem, isn't it?
It comes and goes. That was a big trend of mine.
That's really cool. I think that's kind of a creative thing though. That's like I kind of like that stuff, to be honest. I'd probably just like buy loads of Lego and just spend like a year. Well, probably not a year because you'd go nuts, but like a week just doing that. And be like, okay, let's get back to what we should be doing. You know,
I like the ones where they make like a really big like Iron Man, or like a really big, like they make like just like a really big like character, and it's like
big stuff,
life size, and I'm like, someone has dedicated way too much time in their life for that.
So much time.
I was like well into Star Wars when I was a kid, and there's this, I don't know what it is, but I remember finding it on YouTube. This guy made like, you know, there's I can't remember what the names are, but it's like the massive triangular ship. I think it's like Star Destroyer, it might be called. Anyway, so a guy had made his own one. He'd like designed it. And it's like, it's just so keen, but like I have so much respect for it at the same time.
He might have been able to stop time, I think. He was
or he was unemployed.
It's one of the
might have been that. So that's probably it. This is a bit of an annoying answer, but yeah.
No, I like it. I like that answer. That's cool.
Musical films.
Musical films.
Yeah.
Love and Mercy, actually. Which is my dad. So my dad's a huge Brian Wilson fan, and there's one about Brian Wilson's thing. If you know from the Beach Boys, if you're not there, you don't know him. But yeah, so I love that one. That's sick. Is that what you meant? Yeah.
No, like music, or do you prefer music or
sorry.
That is another good answer.
That is again,
Sorry.
Musical films. Musical films.
Musical films.
Yeah, I didn't just go musical films.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Get my ears cleaned out. Musical, it's got to be music. Like, I think it goes in waves, because when you do music all the time, you kind of don't want to sometimes relax by listening to music. But I feel like I get the biggest emotional, like, or I don't know how to say, like, music has a bigger impact on me than films, I think, probably. Yeah. What about
your favourite film?
Oh, favourite film? Oh, man. That's a really difficult question.
That's all we ask here.
Yeah. This is, you're getting down to, this is the deep, the nitty.
This is the nitty gritty. This is what everyone wants to know.
I'm really into films like, I quite like The Social Network. That was quite cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is, but I love like making and building stuff. Probably similar to you guys.
Yeah.
Like, just like, when there wasn't something, and then being able to like just like make something, and then it's a thing. So that's why I love the band so much, because it's like we're kind of just making music and there's things happening and it's fun. And so I love films that do that, like Social Network does that, where it's just like you get to watch some like teenager build some mad shit. And but yeah, I don't know, maybe go with that.
Yeah, no, I still like that. It's like business stuff, isn't it? Like we always talk a lot about like how those sorts of things start and how like Amazon started and how people start. That's why I think that Stephen Bartlett podcast has done so well, because it's fucking genius to get the guy who started Deliveroo and just sitting down and go, how did you do that then? And
sick one, isn't it?
It's so good to listen to that. I think we'd like find that. So again, films do that so well where you just go like, how fucking brilliant.
It's like that, is it The Big Short?
The Big Short is a great.
I mean, that was the other one.
That's one of my favorite films ever. I think that's a brilliant film. That's so good.
It's brilliantly made. The fact they managed to make a film like that funny when it's so like through about something that's quite complicated. I was like, this is fucking brilliant, to be fair.
No, they're sick then. Stuff like that really. It's just I get really inspired by stuff. I like to watch stuff that I'm going to be like, I'm going to get back on it and like do more and stuff. So I didn't watch a lot of films. My little brother's like a mad film. He makes like movie reviews and stuff like that. So he's like into film. It's quite funny actually. I always because I'm in the process of getting a flat, so I'm still at home.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really watch stuff with my mum and dad, but my little brother does, and I'll just hear it's like shit blasting downstairs, and it's like black and white. It's never in English. Because he's just really into it. Stuff, and he gets them to watch it, and I feel like they're always like talking about it at dinner, just like, I found that one challenging, to be honest. Like, I didn't quite understand what was going on.
That's fucking good.
Yeah. What are you musical films?
It's quite hard. I'd say music, I think. Like if you were to tell me if you were to take one away, I'd say take films away, definitely.
I couldn't tell you last time I sat down and watched a film, you know.
Films have gone out a little bit since like TV shows have got so good, I think. I struggle for films to compete because like
our attention spans are awful.
I kind of think almost the opposite in a way. But also like with a 10-episode TV show, the amount of character development you can get, I care a lot more about it. Whereas with a movie now, you watch it an hour and then someone dies, I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like I've only watched it an hour. Do you know what I mean? I don't get into it as much, but they're still good for like a comedy and things like that. But
yeah, I like animation, like our fucking Planes. What fucking film? Planes and
like kids movies.
Yeah. Look, so I ain't got to worry about concentrating too hard on. I'm very much because they're just so. I find films so long to sit there and like I get like halfway through and I get a bit fidgety and then I'm kind of not interested now. I'm like on my phone. Yeah, I struggle sometimes. It's got to really grab me. It's got to be a really good film for me to sit there and watch it the whole way through.
Probably like and not like look at your phone and not if you're actually like watching the thing. Like, it's very rare, isn't it? I love those animated films. Like
great.
I find that they like the ones at the end where it'd be like. I can't remember which one it might have been. Up. I remember have you seen Up? When his wife dies, I was like, that bit. It was things, the music though. I love that bit of music as well. But I was just like, it's fucking hard. It's honestly that's
so emotional, mate. Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah, it's like I'd cry over shit like that all the fucking time. Like Big Hero 6 and stuff like that.
Big Hero 6
had me going, man.
It's a big film actually.
Great film.
Did you see the Buzz Lightyear thing?
I've not seen it. No. Is it good?
I thought it was pretty sick. Yeah, my girlfriend loved it. We watched it on holiday. It was really weird actually because there was like a random illegal firework display right outside our hotel at the end of this film. So there's this like big space battle and loads of like lasers and shit. And all of a sudden there was just this like, poof, it's real. Like honestly, it's
the 4D experience. It sounds fucking.
I tell you what, Disney's budget's gone through the roof.
Yeah. Like, imagine that happens anywhere you watch it. You put it on in your room. It's like anyway.
Yeah, man, it was mad. But yeah. What have you watched any decent series recently? Because I'm always trying to find stuff. You mentioned
I'm on House of the Dragon at the moment as that comes out.
Any good?
It's fucking brilliant.
I really want to watch that.
Fucking brilliant. And I loved Game of Thrones, but this is better.
Is it?
It's just much more like a family drama. Like it's much more condensed. It all happens in like one place with similar people.
Oh yeah.
But they're just like very political and a lot of like twists in it, but it's just so well written and well acted and stuff. It's fucking brilliant.
That's class.
It's coming out like every week. So I've started watching it. I didn't think it'd be that good because it's a prequel for what would be pretty average. And now I've got into it and you have to wait a week every time. And it comes out at like 1 a.m. So it came out at 1 a.m. this morning. But obviously I won't watch it till like tonight. So then all day I can't like go on Twitter and stuff because always people posting about it, and I'm like, I can't fucking look at anything. I'm gonna watch it tonight now to make sure I don't see it.
Yeah, wrap this up quick, mate. Get on it.
Yeah, we're already ticking. You're another 10 minutes. Otherwise, I'll just stick it on the second monitor and you two can have a chat.
Just like looking to the side. Yeah.
But that's fucking class. That Jeffrey Dahmer one. Have you been watching that as well?
Yeah, so I watched it when we were in Madrid and Barcelona last week. My girlfriend flew out. We'd watch it like in the evening before bed, which was just a real mistake.
Mate.
I really thought it was great, but I had to take a break from it about halfway through it because I was just like, it's getting too heavy for me.
That's what a lot of people.
I've watched like 4 episodes, and I'm a bit like, I don't have any desire to watch more currently. I'm a bit like, I'll leave it for a bit, and then like it is really good, but.
What's the 4th episode?
Well, spoiler alert, if you've not watched it, you've got like 2 seconds. You've not watched it.
I don't give it. It's all right. You don't have to.
No, I will. If he doesn't care.
I'm not going to watch it, am I?
I know, you might.
No, I don't watch it. I can't get into stuff like that.
I've just watched one when he wakes. He takes a lad back to the hotel and then kills him in the hotel, and then he puts him in a suitcase and takes him out. I'm just that, and I finished that bit, and I was like, fuck, like he ends up like drugging himself by mistake because he drinks the wrong drinks, and he drugs the other lad as well just to like make sure he doesn't know, and then wakes up, doesn't really know what he's done, looks down, and this bloke's just been fucking beat to death in the hotel, and he's obviously done it but not realised that he's done it. Fuck, it's mental, but it is deep as fuck, and it's like they've really captured it to a terrifying point where you're like, I don't really want to watch this.
That's my thing. I can't get into stuff like that. It wigs me out. I get wigged out too quickly with stuff like that. Like I get creeped out too quick.
Probably good that you don't watch it, to be honest, because it's like, I think it can like, I don't know. I think I'm all right, but like, I remember at the time I was just like, fuck, I'm getting some weird dreams. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It sticks with you a little bit, doesn't it? He looks a bit like you, to be fair.
Fuck off.
Maybe that's why you don't watch.
Don't give me that shot. No. Not having that. Not having that. I'll take most part. That's not happening.
We'll put a poll in. Do you look like Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, we're not putting a poll on this episode. Do I look like Jeffrey Dahmer? That is not happening. There's not going to be a poll.
I'm not going to say anything. Stay out of this.
Yeah, please.
Actually, I probably should say you don't.
I was going to say that's the next thing you
do. Next quick podcast.
I love it when they happen like this. It's perfect.
Festival or gigs?
That's a hard one. Festivals are pretty crazy. Like the crowds tend to be bigger, obviously, but and it's like you're kind of pretty sick because you play your thing, and then you just get on the beers afterwards and stuff, and you get to meet loads of people that you admire and stuff as well. That's cool. But then gigs are sick because you can get more into production of stuff. I don't know. Festivals. Let's go with festivals. Yeah.
What's the best one you played?
That's a toughie. That. Why Not and Truck are always sick. I think it was Truck this time. That was sick. We played one in Romania actually, which is pretty mad.
Oh, cool.
And it was really weird because I don't know if you know Crystal Fighters, but they were booked on it, and we're on the same booking agent, so they like cancelled or something, so we got the gig, and so it was like this huge slot before Milky Chance, if you know those guys.
Oh yeah.
So they were just like knocking about, and so it was sick to meet them, but like there were nobody. We had no idea what, because we'd never played in Romania before, so we were just like, this is going to be either really kind of rubbish because people are just going to be like, who the hell are these guys? Well, that's kind of what we thought it'd be. And then they just loved it. Like they really kind of like embraced it and stuff. And then we ended up on like national television the next day. So we were kind of like quick fire Romanian, minor celebrities for the weekend.
No, that's sick. A lot of countries they'd be famous in Romania. A lot of countries, like especially in Europe, seem to just get behind it. We were talking about this. I can't remember when it was, but like it just seemed to get behind it. No matter, was it?
Red Rum Club, was it? You're talking to?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
something like that.
That was a while ago.
It was a while ago, but about like countries in Europe just seem to not be bothered at all. Like they might not know who you are, but they will just throw themselves into it and then become fans like straight away. They're very open to whoever the fuck's playing music in front of them, aren't they? It's just a bit like
I don't know what it is. Maybe I think the UK there's a ton of acts and like bands and singers and whatever, so I feel like there may be less, so like it's the ones that go over there, they're a bit more like, this is sick that you've come all this way to play a show. They say a lot when we go over, so it might be something to do with it, but it's definitely like a really welcoming thing when you go over to Europe.
I think British people are just a bit more rude in general as well, aren't they? Just a bit more like, you've got to impress us, like sort of thing.
We've paid to be.
Yeah, so they're a bit more like, come on then, I'm expecting good things. Whereas they're more like, yeah, fuck it, we don't really care if you're good. We'll just have a dance, enjoy it, and that's like just the crack, innit? But
what do you reckon? Because you guys mentioned you're doing live at Leeds, right? Have you done a lot of festivals then?
We did Truck
Fest was the first one, actually, which was really sick. It was very cool. We'd never been. It's only like, we only live like an hour away from where it is, but we'd never really, I don't know, I kind of thought it was new. I'd never heard of it for some reason, which is strange. But it was obviously like the 25th year of it, so it's been around for a long time.
Was it 25th?
Yeah. It's like an anniversary year, I think. But that was sick. That was very cool.
Was it? Did you go to many when you were like as like festival goers when you were kids?
I used to go to Wireless a lot. I had a strange past. I went to Wireless like 4 years on the bounce when I was like 14 to like 18. And I went loads. And that's not a bad, like, it started off really decent because when I went, it was like the second year they did it, third year they did it or something like that.
Right.
And like, again, it's a certain clientele and but the first year was much nicer. Everyone was more there for the music, but then by the last year that I went, it was just chaos. Like it's just but I do quite like hip hop and stuff like that. So like the vibe it was really good. I got to see a lot of people I never thought I'd ever see. Do you know what I mean? Like Action Bronson. I saw Action Bronson to like Noban, and like Fergie was on one the year that we went. Saw Fergie. Like, when would I have ever gone to see Fergie?
Yeah.
Like, she started doing the whole like Fergalicious.
We actually played with the rest of the Black Eyed Peas, or we played before them at a French festival this year, which was a really funny one.
That's
fucking
sick.
Yeah, it's like fucking like Will.i.am and shit next door to you and shit. It's just like, I was so gutted because apparently he was knocking about when we were like loading out or something, and Lou, our bass player, saw him. I was gutted, man. I was so
that would be a bloke to meet, wouldn't it? I'd love to see what because he's like, it seems very interesting to talk to.
Did you ever watch his? They did a documentary on him.
I've only really heard him talk on The Voice back in the day.
Yeah,
that's where most of my experience of Will.i.am comes from.
They did a documentary on him because he's one of these people that have come from like completely fuck all, and he's just such a fascinating man. Like just so like he's one of people like Pharrell Williams, very similar vibe. Like they're just so like they've come from Shaggle and they know that, but they've got this whole mentality of how
Kanye thing as well.
Yeah, of like they're just they know how good they are at something, but they're really good at manipulating and working out trends and how everything's going. Because Will.i.am then went into like actual then like product production of stuff and things like that, and he owns like some of the companies that he owns are just like he started are just fucking insane. When you start that's like water companies and things like that, and you're just like,
that's crazy, isn't it?
Like, why are you into water? Why water? And he's like, well, everyone drinks it. And I'm like, hey, you make a fair point actually. He's like,
you do wonder about people like that, about how the brain works. Like, I think I followed Pharrell a lot more, but like they always kind of like, I don't know, they just seem to have like an idea about where they're going at all times. Which I find really amazing because I don't really have that at all. Like I have like ambitions and stuff, but like it's like it's kind of just that probably won't actually happen, but something cool will. But it'll be like if I aim for that, something else will. You know what I mean? But they always just seem to know what they're.
And there isn't many people like them that could just kind of turn their hand at everything. Do you know what I mean? Like Pharrell, Kanye, Will.i.am, Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, there's people like it doesn't, even if they never did music, like they will be famous for something.
Yeah,
for being brilliant.
They were
like if they never did music, they'd be
designers,
clothing,
like,
it would just like something's going to work for them because they just have that type of mentality and like just kind of genius creativity to go with it. It's impressive.
Do you reckon it's been complete? Like, I know that Tyler the Creator's like this, and Kanye obviously, and I don't know about Pharrell, but like, or Will.i.am or anything, but they just kind of like, when in interviews, they're just like, I'm fucking sick.
Yeah.
I'm a mint producer. And I remember hearing like Tyler the Creator, I think it was Zane Lowe. Yeah. He said that, and I was just like, shit, man, that guy, like, he's got his confidence going, you know. And I think it's because they're not thinking like, they go into a room, they're not thinking like, oh, maybe they're going to reject me, maybe I'm going to be shit, whatever. It's just like, I'm fucking sick.
I think it is that balance of just like knowing that you can turn your hand to anything and you're pretty good at what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? You're there. And I think they've got that almost like undamageable confidence that it could be a show that just helps them get into them rooms and then they can show what they're doing. But that confidence, I think, is so key to getting past like certain elements of success. I think you've got to think you're the best to be able to get to certain heights. Or else, because I think you can get torn down really quickly.
Yeah.
So like having that confidence, if someone's like, oh, he's a cunt, like, or he's this, he's that, he's, you know, he's shit at that, she's horrible at that, she's ugly, whatever. That if you're not got that like undamageable confidence, I think that can really then affect your creativity and your creative like direction, because you're constantly thinking about. Like it's all like a rejection theory, isn't it? It's like, so if you think you're the best, you're not too worried about being rejected because you're already happy with your work, no matter what anyone else says about it.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
I think I think that concept, I think, is so key to get into that next level, because then you can't be strayed off the path you're directing on.
And it's like, I watched that Kanye documentary then on Netflix of like following him behind and stuff, and there's that bit where he went into every single like record label in New York and was rapping at them, and that like every single time they just told him, no, get the fuck out what you're doing. And any normal person would be like, okay, fucking hell, right, let's start looking at someone else, and this is ridiculous. But that like, he comes out of that room with everyone in that room telling him he's fucking shit, get out, and he comes out of it, goes, I'm still the best producer, I'm still the best rapper, I'm still everything, to go do it again. That's that like elite mentality. And if you just keep going, eventually something will happen. If you can back it up, is that you've got to be able to back up as well. You have actually then got to be.
Yeah, you have actually got.
If he was shit, then he still wouldn't. He could have done it all he wanted, but but there's a balance between those two things. I think
it's like his designing thing as well. Like Kanye's designing thing. Have you seen what he posted about Adidas?
I don't look at anything he posted.
I only do it because I follow like all the like sneaker collecting stuff on Instagram and that, and they always reshare it. And he literally posted it like someone sent in an article of like Adidas going further with like cutting ties with him. And he put, I am Adidas. He put like, I am Adidas. I made Adidas what it is today. They raped me for my designs. And I was like, and I was like,
oh my God. Yeah.
Which I mean, in concept, fair. I think like they gave him a really good deal. And if he did design all of the Yeezy stuff, like Adidas probably wouldn't be where they are today without that collaborative piece, because it was so crazy big. But I also think, man, like you're like, ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Keith, do you know what I mean? You can't be slinging words like that around. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. He does a lot of. You see a lot of his stuff on social media, just like questionable. But you know, it's like, I don't know. I love the music. He's obviously, I think he's fucking sick. Like at what he does. It's the same with Tyler the Creator. Actually, it's like whatever they seem to touch is just like. Like all this golf stuff. I was actually looking at hers today. I was trying to design some artwork for something we've got coming out, and don't know if I'm allowed to say that right now.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, actually, it's fine. But anyway, so we're doing this artwork thing. You're always looking at these inspirations, and you're just like, the guy is just so on point.
Yeah, it's like when he first released his like the first lot of Golf Le Fleur Converse collaboration. He literally the photo shoot it was the Vans collaboration they did like years ago, and the photo shoot of it was literally the pair of Vans would come on it, like it looked like it had got like cum on the toe of the shoe.
That's what he did.
Yeah, that was like the actual, like, I'm going to pull it up.
I suppose see that some people maybe just kind of go like, this is what I think we should do, and I don't give a fuck what other people are gonna.
And you say if someone like that does something confidently enough, like that's what a real influencer is to me. Like influencers use a lot now, but like you're an influencer because you go, this is a weird thing, but because I've done it, people will go, that looks weird. And then they go, yeah, but Tyler the Creator designed it. And you go, oh, okay, it's cool then. Like your name kind of becomes you can do what the fuck?
I'll go pick it. I'll go put you a link to it in the chat.
We'll have to put a picture of it.
I'm going to have to put a picture of that. I'll tell you what, have a look at that and tell me what you think.
Is that actually on the show?
Yeah. That was the main.
Oh man,
that was the main product shot for when Golf Wang did their first Vans collaboration.
Okay, I take it back. It doesn't matter whose name on that. I'm not fucking buying it.
That's not. No, you don't buy it like that. You buy it like that without the cum on it. But the cum was the product shot for the. That was like the advertisement. You don't buy it with the cum on it.
Okay, fine.
But like I'm like, now that is fucking brilliant.
Yeah. No.
Do they mention it? They don't mention anything about it, do they?
No. They just started great, man.
Yeah, but that's pure. Then everyone just talking about it, innit? That's everyone doing exactly what we've just done and share it to their mates, and then it marketing.
Yeah, marketing.
and then spreads, and then you sell shoes, and it's fucking clever. These people are so clever.
Well, I think it's memorable, isn't it? I suppose. So from like a purely marketing point of view, it's like pretty spot on, but. I don't think I'd do that. I was thinking if I had like a single coming out, I don't think I'd go that way.
Try it, mate. The next vinyl.
Vinyl.
You've just got to post it with that exact same.
I can't keep the vinyl, man.
I always wonder. Limited edition.
Yeah.
I always wonder what like the design meetings go like with some of these ideas because they're just like, okay, guys, so I've got this idea. Before you interject, just hit me out on it. Because like I find, even with the simplest stuff, like whenever we're talking about it, I find you just sound like a maniac anyway. If you're trying to describe an idea, so like imagine if it's actually a fucking mental idea.
In that boardroom when he comes out and goes, "This is what I think we should do," and everyone's like, "Yeah, okay." Any other ideas?
CEO of Vans just like, any ideas, guys?
Yeah. Look, we'll bookmark that one for later. Please, God, someone have something else for me now. That's fucking mental. Sick though.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely think he like got given a sample pair and literally took the photo and was like, "This is what we're using, lads. I'm sorry, this is it."
I do like the styling of it though. Like it looks quite similar to a lot of the other stuff I've seen, where it's like this kind of color thing going on. Like I just think it's sick. Like, and I don't know, his style as well, like the way he dresses and stuff. Like.
Yeah, this progression into Igor and like the suit trousers and the shirts and the blonde hair and this like almost like because that Vans was back when he was like Skater Boy, like it was like background like just after the Bastard album. I think it was around the same sort of time they released She, the single, and like on the Goblin album, and it was I think then that transition from that to Igor. Throughout the years, I think it's what we've spoke about it in the past, but I think that's what makes a really good artist over just being a good musician. I think that's a really good like creator of music. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't just sit still and be in one path the whole way. I think if same with Alex Turner and the Arctic Monkeys, like that transition into what they're releasing now to what they used to release shows an actual artist over just a good musician. Do you know what I mean?
It feels unswayed by like external voices, like to me, because like I think you've just got to do what you want to do. Like it is a creative thing. It's not like really it doesn't. I was thinking about this the other day. Like you shouldn't actually like this whole kind of commercial thing around music and art and stuff shouldn't actually exist because it should. In its purest form, it's just like, look what I made. I feel really cool about the thing that I did and I don't suck.
Yeah, literally.
And I think that's like, if you just try and keep to that as much as you can, it's like, it's just exploration. And we got when we were asked about our second album, because a lot of people say it's quite different to our first one. I don't know what you guys think, but like, it's like, we didn't really think about it to be honest, it's just like we just tried our best to make what we liked and thought it sounded cool, and I was happy that we managed to get into that headspace with it. You know what I mean? Because I think because the first album in our minds wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like we've made it. Like this is mad. So we didn't have that second album pressure whatsoever or any of that. So maybe that helped. But yeah.
I think it's just staying true to the art form, isn't it? Like, you know, I think if you can see a lot of bands and people that sometimes they might take on a record label too early, or they get a manager too early and stuff like that, and then they get pigeonholed because like they got one single that hit 1 million streams, and they're like, oh, you need to just re-release that in like 7 different ways and lots of remixes and do that, and then we need to then your next single needs to pretty much sound the same as that because that does well. Which in a sense of like from an art perspective, I think it's quite dampening, because then the shelf, like, yes, it might work, but the shelf life's short. And that's why like the longevity of like art, I think, comes from the creative freedom. And when you get these people that are on the record labels that allow them to do that, like your Arctic Monkeys, you know, they allow you to have that creative freedom and the creative spread to be able to be like, oh, we're going to write an album. And they're like, yeah, sick, cool. They're not like, oh, here's loads of reference points. You need to be posting on TikTok 3 times a day. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. And it's like overloading for a lot of creatives if that's not the way that their creative mind works. It's just from a business statistics sense, that's going to do the best because of the general graphs that these people in boardrooms who have never touched a guitar or made a piece of art in their life have gone, oh yeah, that works. And you think it's just, I think it can be really dampening on especially someone who has a creative mind. That can be really like, you get put in a box and put in a cage, and then if you do have to release the same stuff you've already been releasing, it's going to be shit anyway because you're not into it. You're being forced to make art, which is never as good as if you just made it.
And no one really wants that as a fan anyway.
Nah.
I know they like you might get some. I know that a lot of people with Tranquility Base were like, this is just shit. But it's like, what would it was like refreshing, and I was glad. Like I didn't actually dig that album as a listener as much as other albums, but I'd have been so pissed if it was like some AM2.
Yeah.
Some, you know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like people complain when something is different, but then like, and maybe I'm the same as well. I remember Slow Rush came out by Tame Impala, and I was like, I'm kind of not vibing. And then I listened to it a few more times. I was like, oh, this is sick. This is so sick. Like,
yeah, 100%. I have that with quite a lot. I have that with quite a lot of like having to listen things a handful of times through. Especially it's like the Machine Gun Kelly's second album, right? I really loved his first album. I thought it was brilliant. Straight off the bat, it was like a really good track, really good album for me. And it took me 3 listens like through. It's normally what I give everything, 3 listens, and then I make my decision on whether I like it or whether I don't. Yeah. And then it either gets binned or I circle back round and probably listen to it 10 times. That's kind of like the way my head works. And that album, I gave it 3, and then by the 3rd, I was like, whoa, okay, this is actually, I have this thing where it sounds like a different album. Yeah. Like it almost like by the 3rd listen, I'm like, oh, I understand now a little bit more why he's made these tweaks and alterations of going maybe a little bit more 808s instead of it being like actual like acoustic drum set, like a real drum set, or like why he's going more maybe down that route. And I can understand that creative process a little bit more once I've listened to it a few times. And if I don't like it after the 3rd time, I'm like, yeah, this is just an album I don't like.
Yeah.
I think there's a big thing like for me as well, is that I find like music is at its best when you know it well as well. Like I struggle with songs because I just don't know it. It's like when I put it on, even if I think it's good, I'm a bit like, I struggle to, in that bit between first hearing it and then knowing the words and knowing the music and being able to like sing along to it and know what's coming, I struggle with it more. Like, there's nothing worse when a song comes on and everyone else knows it and you don't. You've kind of put off it a little bit. You think, oh, it's shit then because I don't know it. So I struggle a little bit of that all with new music. Like, because it's new and different, your instant reaction is like, what the fuck is this? And then it does take that bit of time to start going, actually, now that I know it and I'm into it a bit more, then it does grow on you quite a bit more. But it's difficult. I think, people have to be allowed to do what they want to do. That's all you want to hear. And if Arctic Monkeys do AM2, then it's like, realistically, that's AM B-sides probably, because they'll have had more than what they had for that album anyway. They probably could have easily churned out another 10 songs that could have been on AM anyway, just released that, but it's pointless.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Like, I think you can get into a habit when you're in music to like be like, oh, because I think everyone's going for the same thing. Everyone wants to like make the best thing that they can make. Like, I think, and that's at least what we do. It's like we're all just trying to make cool shit that we dig, and sometimes you can get into a habit of being like, I don't like that, and I don't like this. I like that. That's cool, but I don't like. And then sometimes you have to stop yourself and go like, but it's actually sick that everyone's giving it a go. You know what I mean? Because how shit would it be if nobody was fucking trying? And it was just like, it's like I might not like that as much as I thought I may, but like, fucking, it's sick that I'd much rather they tried than didn't, you know, and I'd much rather people were making shit and stuff. So I don't
100%. It's all artistic preference, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Joe don't like art museums, but I fucking love going and seeing a portrait gallery. That's cool. Like, it's like, I quite like it. I try and go whenever if I see one, I'll try and poke my nose in, sort of thing.
That's what. I had a mate a few years ago that used to say like that feeling that you get when you listen to a song that you love. I get that when I stare at a bit of art that I love. And I just don't understand it. But like, is that kind of where you're at with that? I feel a little bit more in awe of it all. So when I look at art, instead of being like with music, I can feel like it like actually makes me properly feel something. And I think some of the like portraits of people and scenarios makes me feel stuff. But when it's like a painting of a flower, I'm just like, oh fuck, that's good painting. Do you know what I mean? Like a little bit more surface value, but I'm like just the sheer fact of how brilliant it is. But also I quite like the fact that there's a lot of like almost hype around it. Like I went and saw the Van Gogh sunflowers, which is really cool. Like I went and saw that. It was in the portrait gallery when I went, and there's like stories of that piece of art, of how it's traveled through the generations of people, and it's been lost and it's been found and it's come to this and that, and like, you know, that I think the story element of that actual piece I think is really cool because it's still in mint condition, and you just think it's mad, X amount of years old. And I sit there and I go like, the quality of that, I can almost see it being on a tabletop in his kitchen, and he sat there like just painting away. I feel like it may be a similar thing. There was like I think it might have been Tutankhamun or something like that. It was like an Egyptian thing in London, and there was like all these boxes and whatever. There was tons of stuff, and you could get like right up close to it. And my girlfriend's mum, I think, gave us tickets to it or something. It was really cool anyway. And I remember looking at this box, and there was like millions of carvings all over it. And you're looking at these things, and you can see like the way it's scraped through the wood. Yeah. And you're looking at this thing, and it's like this was like 4,000 years ago. Yeah. Like, I can imagine some dude just fucking hammering away at this shit, and I can see that. And and it just kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, it's that similar thing of you just sit there, you're like in awe of it, and you're like, you know, you see it's like I was watching one the other day. I was looking at one the other day. It was fucking ages ago when I last went to the art gallery. But I went to this art gallery and they had a piece on that was like, it was like a traveling piece. It was like an actual, like a thing that was like an event in, I think it was a National Portrait Gallery in London. And for years, it had been a piece of art that they had put out on show. There was an oil-based painting, and it was a beautiful painting. But then they X-rayed it for like, because once the technology started coming in, they like did a certain form of X-raying. Can't think what it was, but it was like almost like a layer-based X-ray. But it had also got a painting. It had been painted on a painting.
That's sick.
So there was behind that painting was another painting that dated back another like few hundred years before that. And you're like, someone's just painted this painting over a painting. So I'm now technically looking at two paintings, but I'm only looking at the painting on the surface. So then they had like the negatives of the painting that's behind it.
That's cool.
And you're like, that element of the travel and the story of that piece, and it's now sat in a gallery in London. And I'm wandering around pretending I'm like really arty.
That's the bit I do like about it, is like the history side of things. Because I was watching TikTok the other day, and it was about like how the pyramids were built, and I love stuff like that. Like trying to work out how they did it. But
there's a fled bit with the sand.
Yeah, with the water.
Yeah.
This is obviously like ancient fucking Egypt. Like they had no technology or understanding of how anything worked, and they had like depictions of them having these giant stones that we wouldn't know how to move now on sand on a sledge. And they were saying like people can work out, because if you pulled a stone on a sledge like that on sand, the sand just builds up and it stops. Like you can't, there's too much friction and the sand builds up. But then people like look closely, and the bloke at the front has like a big like vase of water and is pouring it over the front. And they were like, if you pour the perfect amount of water, it has to be very specific, the perfect amount, you make the sand wet in front of the sledge, it can then slide over it. If you go too wet, it will dig in. And if it's too dry, it will go like that. But if you put the perfect amount, it just glides across the sand. And you need less than a quarter of the amount of people to pull it than you would do normally. So they kind of worked out quickly, well, hold on, if we do that, then you can do 4 stones at a time. And it starts to explain how they could build this thing in like the amount of time they did. But you're like, this is thousands of years ago. How the fuck?
Pete, I fucking spilled the juice on this thing, and it's like working.
And we're gliding, or everyone else is like dragging it. And everyone's like, what the fuck?
I honestly, like, I sometimes think that, like, how the fuck did you figure that out? Like, honestly, that's the Egyptian stuff's just mental.
Mental.
That's really interesting. I didn't know about that water gliding technique.
Yeah, I'll find a TikTok and I'll send it to you, because they probably explained it much better than I did. But it was very
fascinating.
Cool. I find all that ancient stuff fascinating.
That used to be what I did when I was hungover. Was just sit and watch like history documentaries at uni.
YouTube's so good for that. Bro, falling down a cycle of
World War II in colour, my friend.
Yeah.
Now that on Netflix.
Peter Jackson thing.
Oh my God. I used to sit there and I'd put it on when I woke up at like midday after a night out, and I'd still be watching it at like 7 at night. All of it is like a Nando's. I've not left my bed. I'm just sat watching World War II documentaries.
It's brilliant. I thought it was insane how like slowing it down and putting it in colour completely humanized.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, because it's just that I remember watching that and just being like, fucking gobsmacked.
Should tell you what's a good one to watch if you like stuff like that. If you've got Nat Geographical on like Disney Plus, if you have Disney Plus or know anyone with it,
I reckon I might be able to.
Yeah, source Disney Plus, and on Nat Geographic, there's one that's called Drain. It's called something like Drained Away, and it's about they take different shipwrecks around the world, and they have scanned the bottom of the ocean and where the ships are, and they've then put it into like a CGI sort of generator and drain all the water away. And they tell you this whole story of this shipwreck, but they then show you what the shipwreck looks like now underwater, but without all the water. So you can literally, it's one of the most mind-blowing documentaries I've ever watched in my life. And they have its series, and it'll be like an old World War II submarine, or it'll be like they did it with pirate ships, and like they did it with like old slave ships in like the Louisiana rivers and stuff like that, where it crashed and it had so much gold on it, and they tell you the whole story of these ships, and it's at the bottom of this random river in Louisiana, that this ship's been there for hundreds of years, but they drained it all away and the ship is still kept in almost like perfect form because of all the water and everything. It's all like keeping it sealed and in the sand and the mud, but they've scanned it all so in depth that you can see it as if it like had no water around it. It is fucking brilliant.
That's mad, man.
Great documentary.
That doesn't sound good. I don't even. Well, did we ask a quick fire question 45 minutes ago?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Was that Festival of Gigs? I think that was festival. I think that was legit Festival of Gigs. It can't up there. I think it was.
Well, all I've got on here that's left is like EU or US, headphones or earphones, or 1975 of Coldplay, and I don't think it's any of them that led us to that point.
It wasn't.
Fucking amazing. Well, with that, we go for an hour. There's a couple of things you want to touch on if you've still got time and not keeping.
No problem.
Keep it going too long. How's tour going?
good.
I know you've only played one show, is it? You one down and then you got them all coming up sort of thing?
Well, the UK and Ireland,
one.
we've done one. We've just been in Europe for a month, which was sick. So it's just been mint, really. We've been able to play this new album stuff, which has been amazing because we spent a lot of time just kind of thinking about how we could make a full experience whilst writing it for live and stuff. So it's finally we're able to do that. So that's mint. Yeah, it's been great, man. It's been great.
What sort of things do you put into it, like as the whole live performance? Like what extra things do you bring?
Well, to be honest, we do tend to like just think how can we make it from a musical point of view. We just kind of think how can we keep pushing it. So we spend most of our time doing that. But we've got this. One of my friends from school is like a sick lighting designer, and he has this great lighting company. So he's going to come out with us, and he's just got loads of mad stuff. So we do a lot of that kind of thing. He's got this huge sort of like, it's essentially a screen, and you can just project anything on it, or like, and so it's just sick. Like I went to see it last night. He was just programming it, and it's just like, this is mad. It's so cool.
Really?
Like, it just makes you feel so badass. You're like silhouetted and doing cool fucking moves and shit, and it just looks cool. So that's going to be mint. So it's buzzing for it, to be honest. Like it's been a while, so yeah.
Where are you most looking forward to play in the UK?
It's difficult that because like it used to be like the further north we went, it was like more crazy.
Yeah.
Like the Glasgows and like Manchester, obviously, because that's our closest. But more recently, even like London and like Brighton, even really like southern places, they're just mad. So I actually don't like London's our biggest show this time. So that's going to be sick. So I'm kind of excited from that point of view. But in terms of just places, I'm easy.
Everything all goes down well, doesn't it? I've seen like we were scrolling through your Instagram and that, and a few clips. We've never seen you live. I would love to, but the clips of like your live shows look fucking very cool. To be fair, the energy that you were bringing looked very good.
Oh, thank you. But if you want guests this forever, just give us a shout.
Thank you, man. Yeah, definitely. We need to look at it. We have hardly any dates, hardly any gigs in. We need to sit and have a look because there's so many. We'll definitely be there. But
sick, man. Yeah.
We'll come. The London one's the biggest one. When's the London one?
Thursday the 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Coco. Mad.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
The Coco will be quality, man.
I'm fucking psyched, man. It's like it's selling really well, which we're like,
is it?
Kind of like, I don't know why, like London's just gone mad the last few times. So we're just like, what's going on? Because we're so used to like the DIY. Like we'll go message everyone, like really try and graft for the tickets to, please come to the show stuff. And then it started more recently just bubbling itself. And it's the nicest feeling because when you've like spent 10 hours a day trying to get people to come to your show and then you don't have to do that anymore. It's like
fucking the best.
Just quite nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that is the best feeling. We were kind of chatting about it because I remember like listening to you lot over the last few years at different points, like probably last couple of years, and then literally checked today, and I don't know how much you like look at numbers or care about them, but on like 500,000 monthly listeners.
Yeah.
Which is fucking, that's
unbelievable.
Huge numbers. Like there are big bands that have far less than that. Like that's crazy. Like has that come out of, is that kind of post the second album, or was it a bit before that? Or have you had a bit of a growth? Because I've never really clocked how like you seem to have grown a lot recently at some point.
It was mainly like up to and during the second album. So like we had sort of from Do Right, I don't know if you remember when that came out. It was like 2020, I think it was. From then up till now, it's kind of just been going upwards pretty more than it was before. Which is not. I've tried to like. I used to get super into the numbers and stuff, and you start kind of focusing on it a bit too much. So I deleted the Spotify for Artists app and all.
Really?
Yeah. But like, it seems to be holding steady around 500, which is mad. Like,
that's mad.
The only problem. This is why I got rid of the app. It's like you're like, oh, 500, cool. Like, I remember really wanting that, but it's like, well, it's not a million, so.
Yeah, it's never that satisfying, is it?
You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Like we know those guys, and they're on 1 million, they're 2 million. And you're just like,
yeah.
So it's never ending. But like it's showing in the gigs, and when you actually get to meet people who dig the music, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's where it matters, isn't it?
It's fucking insane. Like, you know, everyone who makes music is so like just like sit in a room and play my fucking guitar and I write this thing and it feels good, and then all of a sudden it's like you've got people you don't know singing that shit to you, and it's just like
the maddest thing.
Crazy, you know what I mean? It's mad. So yeah, it's psyched.
Especially like we were reading that the first album was done like in one take in front of one microphone, like sat in a room kind of thing, and then now you're at this point, like it's quite a journey, isn't it, to then end up fucking selling tickets like that.
It's mad. Well, our first studio that we had was in like Mill near where we live, and it was smaller than this room. I can't say if you can see how big. It's not very big. It's kind of like, you know, and it was small.
Size reference.
Yeah, size.
Yeah, it's like I think the camera is giving it a magnifying effect. No,
to show you.
Yeah, but like we had to we couldn't open the door if we wanted to record drums and shit. So it was like it was pretty tight. And then from that to like doing gigs and mad stuff, it feels like how sometimes younger bands ask like, oh, how did you do this? And I do that, and it's like, to be honest, mate, I actually have no idea. Honestly, like obviously we worked as hard as we can and grafted and did everything you could, but I have no idea how it managed to get to 500,000. So. Yeah, fucking buzzing, really.
Fucking sick. Here we are. Push on to that mail. It will come. Have you got any future plans? Anything upcoming you can let us in on at all?
Yeah, well, we've got stuff coming out, more music over time. I don't know when it's coming, actually, if I'm honest. But so I'm psyched for that. But yeah, I think once this tour's finished, we're just going to crack on. And just get, I can't wait. It's been a while since we've been able to have like a stint where we can just get into the studio again and just do all that kind of thing. So I'm psyched for that. So that's gonna be
that'd be nice, man.
But yeah, man, got the tour coming up, which is the next week, 2 weeks. And yeah, the album's out. That came out this year at some point. Mm-hmm. Don't know when.
July, I think.
Merging into the same fucking year. But that's kind of it, really.
Sick.
Quality stuff. Right. Well, we have 2 last little sections that are like smaller sections. Don't worry, we're not going to do another hour of talking about music.
We could.
So the first thing we're doing at the minute is we do a question where we. Sorry, I'm just seeing B Reels just got off.
You need to get on that, mate. You have 2 minutes or something.
Mate. It's fucking.
We both bit the bullet, and I was trying to avoid it, but it is actually genuinely really good.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's such a happy social media, which is so rare these days. Like everyone I've got on it does buy into it. Like we'll just post very normal pictures of yourself, like chilling, and I'm like, it is really quite refreshing. Like. I keep showing my girlfriend it because she doesn't have it. And it's like, she's like, no, you can't post that. And I'm like, no, look at what other people post. And it's just like,
I mean, it's literally just
everyone just sat in like.
Every day I'm sat here.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much changes. It's like my office. Then I literally sit here and I work here.
But it's nice with everyone's in front of the laptop sometime between 9 and 5. In the evenings, they're kind of not doing a lot. The weekends are out in the pub or at restaurants with friends and stuff. And that's like, you kind of start clocking that everyone's kind of doing the same shit. And you're like, oh, it's quite, I don't know. I find it quite,
it's good,
refreshing, because it's not like everyone's doing fucking mad shit all the time, like other social medias make it look. So it's quite refreshing.
It definitely seems like that, doesn't it? Just like, what the fuck am I doing? Just sat here.
Especially, it's nice when you're doing something cool and everyone else is sat on their ass, and then you're like, yeah, now we look good.
Fucking live. Like 17 Insta posts.
Bastards. Yeah, we're like, we're doing something, but no, it's good. I do like it. Sorry.
Anyway, we did a little section where we shout out bands that we kind of feel like need a little bit more publicity than they're getting, a little bit more of a shout out of what they deserve. So is there any bands that you're listening to at the minute or that you know that you want to kind of share with the world that are a bit more on the underground side?
Let me think about this. There's always, I love there's like a sick music scene in Macclesfield, which is our hometown. I love.
Cool.
So there's a band, a really good friend of ours called Maisie Johnson. She's in a band called Queen Cult. And they're sick. It's like kind of rocky, punky stuff, and they're awesome. Who else? Aaron, my friend Aaron. He's in a What's he called now? Oh, why is it escaped? That's so annoying. It's something to do with it's the wine. Let me just I've got him on SoundCloud, but he's making music. One of our friends is actually our bass player's cousin, and he's sick. So it's just the Mac music scene, man. It's like I just think it's like there's so many so talented people, and they're just kind of nobody's heard their music yet. So let me get this.
It's always nice to get stuck into like a specific music scene, because you always have that people from their town that back your own music scene, and then there's so many good talented people that don't necessarily always make it out of that place. But if you get stuck into different places, there's some fucking mental talent.
Some crazy talent.
In it, like, and I think you have to be proper lucky to even do anything like above normal in music. And so it's just like, and there's like the purity of it as well. Like, there's a sick venue called Mash, which is in our hometown, and they always have like sick jazz guys on. And sorry, I'm just trying to log into my SoundCloud.
Oh, you're okay, mate. Carry on.
I really should know this, but it's literally just like escaped my brain. Yeah, like they always have sick music and like really smaller artists and stuff. We basically did all of our first shows there, and it's just like, this is what it's about. There's no like bullshit. There's no like whatever surrounding stuff. It's just like people making stuff they like, and people who like going to watch live music here. So that's the fucking thing for me.
It creates a bit of a like pilgrimage as well, doesn't it? Like you kind of got to go through those places in your hometown and make it there to then go, right, now we're going to start playing other places and Europe and wherever, and it all kicks on, but it all starts off in your hometown.
Definitely, man. Like that's like, yeah, it's just, you need people like that to kind of just be like, you actually like, because you suck like so bad at the beginning. Like, everyone's fucking shit. And for people need to be like, you're all right, you lads, you know, just fucking keep going. And then you kind of go, oh, maybe we will, and maybe we'll fucking give it a go. And that's what you need. And so, yeah, like I feel like if I was ever to get like minted, I'd definitely try and fucking open some kind of sick venue or whatever, something like that for young artists in Mac and that, or wherever, you know.
Yeah,
it's our goal. Literally, is like open a music venue. Yeah. It's what we talk about it all the time. Like we really want one, and it's like, because we've been doing this now for 2-3 years now, and we've spoken to bands from all over the country that are all different sizes and like audiences, and you know, and you kind of get the vibe that there is just everyone seems to be a fucking wanker in the industry. That's like the people that put in on the gigs and the managers and all this shit. There's a lot of like barriers put in the way for these people, and we're like, what, you know, we live in Northampton, which is, you know, middle of nowhere, not far from London sort of thing, and there just isn't much going on here music wise, and you're like, why is there not gigs every night? Like why is no one putting this shit on? Like there's no one travels here to play, and we're like, why? And they're like, oh well, it just isn't going to work. It isn't going to work. And then, you know, we showed it does work when we did the festival last a couple of weeks ago. And you're like, that's sick. Like, that's
so sick. It really,
it's so cool. Like you can just show it. Like, you know, we did 26 bands from around the country, and you think, and everyone was like, oh, it does work. And we're like, yeah, put on your own gigs now with other people, please. Like,
that'll be. That's it. I think it only takes like, you know, it's like your kind of the hardest step is the first one, isn't it? And if your guys paving the way for that, that's just sick. Like.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, that's people just a bit like tired in the old ways as well. There's a lot of like in Northampton, it is very local stuff might do all right. Other than that, nothing will sell. There's no point. And we kind of showed like we did get genuinely decent bands from all around the country. And then when we had to do all the convincing of come and do it. And then everyone that came, even people that like our mates that don't listen to that sort of music, found someone that they'll be like, they were fucking good, and we're like, yeah, we know. And then they'll be like, they were good, and we're like, yeah, we know. This is we didn't just pick 25 random bands. I was like, these are all like fucking brilliant artists that over the next few years some might stop, some might become the best in the world, but right now these are like some of the best artists. And bringing them to Northampton, people.
Any names that you would like? If I might not have known that.
So headliners were Bilk, the Cover Sets, and Second Thoughts. We're our 3 headliners.
Second Thoughts.
Yeah. They're fucking brilliant.
Quality.
Yeah,
they've got a track called Nicotine Stains, and it is like the soundtrack of my life.
Yeah, they're very class. So like people like that they wouldn't think to play Northampton. So
yeah,
hopefully it goes both ways. Like we convince them that Northampton's a good place to play, and the people who came that you can get good stuff in Northampton, and it all kind of people start trusting the process a little bit. But
that's
we'll see. But yeah, a venue would be
venues
like 200 cap. Yeah, we always said like coffee shop in the day, cool bar at night with a great venue room attached to it, and just fucking like put stuff on every day, and that would be.
Yeah. It's mad what you can do as well. Like we played this gig in like Essen, which is in Germany. It's quite a small city, I think. I think it's a city, and they had this like it's probably about a 200 cap venue, and that's where we were playing. And they have like an Airbnb next door, and they put you up, they cook your breakfast, they cook your tea and everything. It's fucking like
sick.
And they had like I was like, oh, who'd you have on last week? And it was like I don't know if you know like Hiatus Coyote, but it's like they're like a kind of fusiony. There's like jazz stuff in there, but and I was like, dude, they're fucking crazy. They're from like America, and I was like, shit, you guys have like fucking like real guys on.
Like you know your shit.
People who can really play, and like loads of like Tom Mish's drummer. His name escapes me now, but he's such a sick player, and he has his own projects and stuff, and he had him on and stuff. And I was just like, what? Like, you just would never think it, because it was just like a coffee shop with a big curtain at the back, and there was a stage behind it. And
it's so sick. I love stuff like that. It's because then it works, because then everyone in the local area will just go, even if we've not heard of who's playing. They'll be like, well, we'll go there. We'll know it'll be good. Whatever night of the week we're free, we'll all just go, and something good will be on. And I think that's you have to build that reputation, I suppose, first, and then people will hopefully start getting behind it in the other way. But who knows?
Oh, wicked. Well, yeah, let us know when the next one is, because I'd love to come down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, sick. We'll see if we can afford you to play, but I doubt it currently.
Yes, leave it with the suits.
Have you got a name for us? Have you mate, or are we struggling?
Let me get it on. I didn't want to be rude and go on Instagram while.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Have you got one while we're waiting, Joe?
Yeah, I was just having a little look. There's been quite a lot coming out. I want to give a quick shout out to Declan Welsh and the Decadent West, who we've spoken about a few times, because Declan Welsh and the Decadent West, they kind of come up and down. I feel like they do a thing with it. They released like loads of music at once and did like loads of tours, and then they kind of disappeared for a little bit and then did the same thing again, and they kind of crop up, but they are fucking brilliant. And they, funny enough, did play in Northampton not long ago, and they were quality live, weren't they? They had like a really unique feel to them.
There was people there.
There was no one there. Yeah,
from like the promoter did a piss.
Yeah. But as a band, they are fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And they've got a new song called Mercy, literally came out Friday, but they're doing really well. But their music's they're like a good, like, couple of years ago we started this, we were listening to their music, and they've just kept like building on it, and they are a really good band now. I thought yes.
Yeah, I saw the Barrowlands thing on their Spotify. That's sick.
Yeah, they are a Scottish band, and I didn't even realise they've got 100,000 monthly listens at the moment, which is fucking brilliant. But yeah, they're from Glasgow. Their biggest ever headline show at Barrel and Ballroom is on sale now. So hey, if you're in the local area, go see them, because they're worth seeing, 100%.
Definitely.
My mate, by the way, is a House of Wine. It's called
House of Wine.
Yeah, and it's just fucking good shit. I can't really explain it to, but check it out. Also, Corella, those boys.
Corella, yeah.
Those guys, but they're doing fucking well good now.
They're doing really well.
They're such nice guys, so definitely check them out. They're class.
Yeah. They are class. I did reach out to them actually the other week about coming on here, so hopefully.
Oh yeah, they're funny.
Hopefully,
guys.
make a hand. Sick. Hopefully, we'll force it through. We'll badger them.
I want to give a shout out to Voodoo Bandits.
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't spoke about them in quite a while, but Voodoo Bandits are fucking quality, and they've just got a new track called Drag. Full stop. It's got full stop at the end, and I'm in love with the fact that they've used punctuation on a song title. I think that is fucking brilliant. But yeah, great track. Very, very good track. And Voodoo Bandits, we saw Voodoo Bandits in Manchester. Deaf Institute.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Like a year ago.
Was it a year ago?
Last summer, yeah. Because when we saw
a while ago.
they were supporting Covers.
Oh yeah, they were supporting Covers. And they were fucking brilliant live. Because where are they from? Isle of Wight? Isle of Man?
Yeah, they were from somewhere.
One of the Isles.
Because we were saying about doing some of the podcast, and we were like, we could try and do it in person. Like, are you around? And they were like, oh, we're actually from. I think it was the Isle of Wight or something. We were like,
the Isle of Wight's putting out some isn't it Wet Leg from Isle of Wight as well?
Yeah, I think so. There's quite a lot coming out, to be fair.
Isle of Wight on a roll.
Yeah, honestly. There you go.
Hey. But yeah, Voodoo Bandits, drag. Better of a tune.
Sick.
So the last question we've got for you, mate, is something we're rounding up all of the podcasts with.
Sick.
And it is, what does music mean to you?
No dear. Right. That's a big question, mate.
Yeah, that's why we like it.
I don't know. It's fucking like. I think it's basically. I don't know. It's difficult to not get deep with questions like this, isn't it? But like, it's like, I think it's the purest way that you can connect to people. I think for me, like with my dad, I have music that he showed me, and it's like that'll always remind me of my dad, or like a mate. So that's, to me, it's like fucking. It's the way I best like connect with people. I think is through music. Yeah,
that's lovely. That's a lovely answer.
Nice. That's sweet. Lovely stuff, mate. Jacob, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today, man. We've loved every
minute. Pleasure's all mine, mate. Honestly, thank you for having me.
Anytime. Thank you.
Anytime. And if you're still listening and you're still viewing, make sure you click the subscribe button, leave a rating, answer the poll beneath, because we probably will put one, and it's not going to be, I look like Jeffrey?
It is.
It's not. I'm not going to allow it. It's just not going to happen.
Don't have to change it.
Yeah, valid point.
Still listening. Sorry.
Yeah, make sure you do all of that stuff. Subscribe, leave us a rating on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon if you can do a rating on there. And we'll see you all on the other side. Peace. Bye.